Hey beautiful people, it is your girl T and I am back to do my last video of my coloring supplies stash. This one is going to be tools and reference books. So let's go ahead and get started. I couldn't really put this in any type of order, so I'm just going to start with what's next to me. Okay, so some of the things that I use for my coloring books or just painting and things like that in general, of course, are palettes. Now, I'm a messy painter because I don't clean my palettes like I'm supposed to. So my palettes are not very nice. They have paint still on them and I'm just lazy about that and I shouldn't be. But I have some palettes and I have several. I just took out a couple to show you guys. Another thing I like to use in my coloring books to protect the pages would be like I take a manila folder and I, cut it in half. And I use this because I find that it's thick. And I like to color on soft things, not hard, plasticky things. So I really prefer to color on something soft and it's thick. So I use a manila folder, so I have several of these laying around. I also use these to create stencils, my own stencils. So, and that's just drawing and cutting. So I use manila folders. Another thing that I use, of course, is a handy dandy ruler. And I like these see-through rulers. I don't know, I just like these from using them in art school. And this is, who is this one by? Let's see. This is a Westcott ruler, so you can find these, and it has like a metal edge here. I don't know if you can see that. It has a metal edge, and on this side it's just plastic. So you get two different types of edges on that. I also use artist tape. Artist tape comes in handy when you're trying to use acrylic paints for the background, or if you want to create a border with paint and you want to keep your border line straight. You can also use this, like I said, for backgrounds. You can take strips of it and make diagonals, different shapes with the tape, and then paint and then pull them up and you have designs there. So I like using artist tape. All right, next we're going to get to my brushes. I have a lot of brushes. So the first that I'll show you, probably my least favorite brushes. These are the Royal Langnickel brushes, and they come in 5 different sizes. This was a set. The brushes, I mean, as you can see, I don't like how they fray like this. But that could be my own fault for not caring for them properly. But yeah, these are my Royal Langnickel brushes. I do like this handle here. It's got a nice like grip on it. But other than that, I don't use these that much anymore because I have some better ones. All right, that's my first set. And then I have another set that are called Sea White. And this is how they look. Again, not taking care of them. This I can get off. I know how to get it off, but I use this one for glitter glue or glitter paint. But these are okay. They're not the best. But they're Sea White, and they came in 3 different sizes. Next, I have a low budget brand that I got from, I want to say it's either Wish or AliExpress. I have not used these yet, but this came in a set of 6 different sizes. So you have 3/4, a 5 and 8, 5/10, 1/4, and a 0. Zeros can be used, and as well as this one for details. Then you have one with an edge, but you see how it's not perfectly edged. So, you get what you pay for, but they were cheap. I said, oh, I can use these for, some acrylic paints in my coloring books. I don't need to spend a lot of money on those. Okay, and I like how they have the little gold ends. That was cute. All right. Now I have some randoms. I'll show you. Actually, now I have another set here. And these are detailers. They came in a set of 4. They're by Craftsmart. These are the like cheap ones you can get from like Michael's. But I needed something with really, really fine tips. I'm using one right now. It came in a set of 4. But they're all different sizes. You can see that one's really skinny. That's just to get into some, like, you know, you have like the stars and stuff on the pages and they're so tiny. You know, you want to get paint in there. You can use these to get paint in those. So those are Craftsmarts, and you can find those at Michael's Arts and Crafts. The next set I have, well, let's do the randoms. Couple of randoms here. I have a Simply Simon shader and an 8. This is a pretty nice brush. I like this one. I like the way it feels in my hand. This I think I got at an art store. I'm not sure which one. Okay, and then I have a black gold. I also like this one. It's a 1/4 flat. Sorry, trying to get focus for you guys. Okay, so you see that. It's really nice. It's a synthetic, but it's a nice one. All right, next I have, oops, the runaway paintbrush here. And I have a Winsor & Newton detailer, but that's really old. It's frayed and stuff that needs to really go in the garbage. But that's a Winsor & Newton. And then I have this other liner. Not very good. It's frayed. I only use this once and it's just totally awful. And even when I cleaned it, I made sure, you know, to do this while it was wet so it could form back, but it just won't. So that will probably be one I give to my son or something. He's only 6 and he'll play with that. All right, the next thing I have, these are the set. This is a set I got actually at the art fair 2 years ago. These are silver black velvets. And let me tell you guys, these paintbrushes are for watercoloring and they are the bomb. I got to play with them while I was at the art fair, so I bought a set. These are really expensive. For 3 is almost like 40 or 50 bucks. I'm using these for watercoloring because I'm going to be taking some watercoloring classes really soon. And I got these for my class. I'm going to need more, but this will start me off. All right. Next, I have some Japanese calligraphy type of bamboo brushes. This one has an N for calligraphy, the writing part, and then it has the brush. And then I have 2 that just have the brush, not the calligraphy pen at the back. So those are pretty cool. Next, we'll go into my water brushes. We'll start with the first set. I have Arteza water brushes. I'm going to say these are my least liked water brushes. Water really spills out of them, harder to control. But I do like the fact that they come in different sizes. So this one I use the most, but I'm very, I have to keep drying it, you know, like you see that? I'm not even pressing, you guys, and the water's coming out my hand. Look at that. I mean, it just pours out. I've even tried taking this apart and checking to make sure nothing's loose in there, and I just don't like these. So since I'm having issues with that one, I don't use the set at all, which comes with this wide brush here. Comes with 2 of those like that. I don't even use them. But I should see if these ones have the same issue. And then here's another one that comes in that set. See that? I don't use them because of that issue with the first one. I don't want to mess up any pages, so of course I won't use them. Okay, so the next set of brushes that I have are the Derwent water brushes. And right now I'm going to tell you guys, these are in the top as far as my favorite ones to use. I like that show you guys, that the tips are a little bit more stiff than some of the other water brushes. I really like that. Certain times I don't want the brush being too soft. I want it to be a little stiff when I'm using it. So these come in 3 different sizes, a 1, a 2, and a 3. So I'll show you what the 3 looks like. 3 is flat. I'll show you what the 1 looks like. I use that. It's like at the finer tip. And of course the 2, I think I just showed you guys that. It's a medium tip. Okay. Next, I will show you my Japanese water brushes. I really, really like these. They are by, gosh, I just had them the same as this one. Sorry, y'all. Okay, so, sorry, y'all. Okay, so, these are, I think, Kuritaki's. Right here, these are Kuritaki's, I believe. This one's made for ink, and this one's made for water. And this is really nice. I also have this Niji water brush. I've used it, love it. It's by Yasutomo. And I'll show you guys, this brush is really nice. As you can see here, it's a nice long brush. Look at that. The tip is so nice. It's not too flexible. It lets out a nice amount of water. And I really love working with that. So this is my newest one. And I like this one a lot. Then I have, this one I got from Michaels, and it's by Marvy, and it has a really, really fine tip. This is the one that gets the most time for me. I just like it a lot. You don't have to spend a lot of money on these to find nice ones. But you know, some of them are not all that great quality, but once you find one that's inexpensive, that works well, you tend to kind of stick with it because you've worked with it so much. So I really do enjoy that one. All right, next we're gonna move into extenders, I guess. So I do have a lot of stubbies, so I have extenders. So this is a Raffine extender. This one to me doesn't work that good because sometimes the pencils are too skinny, and this doesn't hold them in place, so your pencil will shift in it, shift inside of here, and I don't like that. So what I do is kind of press this in and then pull this up to kind of adjust it a little bit. Then I have these pretty metallic ones. I think I have 3 or 4 of them. I don't know where the other 2 are right now. But these ones are a lot better because you actually, you put the pencil in and you turn this until it's tight around the pencil. And these tend to work a lot better for me. They are slick, so, and the grip is not as grippy as you would like, but at least you have something that's not shifting up and down inside of the extender. So my extenders. All right, moving right along, I have just a few of the colorless blenders. So I have a colorless blender here. This is a Prismacolor colorless blender. I use those. I also use this Splendor by Lyra. It's the same concept. It's a colorless blender for the Lyra brand. And then I also have a Derwent burnisher. Same concept, to burnish the paper, so, or burnish the area that you've colored in. And this is for Derwent. Next, we're going to go into the pencil sharpeners. I'll tell you straight off the bat, my favorite pencil sharpener of all time is going to be Coom, the Coom pencil sharpeners. I like these, the 4-in-1s, 4-in-1s. They have, again, there's 4 different holes. Okay, 2 different sizes in each. One does like a short, and one does a short point, and one does a longer point. One side does a longer point. And then you have where it catches all of the shavings inside. And I have 2 of those because I love them so much. I use those the most. When I'm working with my Faber-Castells, I do use the Faber-Castell pencil sharpeners because I like the way that they sharpen. And I like the fact that there are different sizes here. This one is one that's broken. I use it. This is one I travel with because I really don't need to have the nice one because I'll be upset if I lose it. Also going back to Coom, 2 other Coom that I like to use would be this automatic long point by Coom. These are amazing. The first hole gets it long, and then the second hole sharpens it to the actual point. So you have 2 steps with this one. This one works really, really well. It also catches the shavings here. Do you see the stop, word stop in there? It will stop when it gets there on each side. These are great. It even comes with extra blades. So this is another one that I like by Coom. And then of course, the handy dandy little hand one. So I have several of these laying around. Another Coom sharpener that I like to use is the Eclipse. This is a really nice one, gets nice points. I've never had any issues with, not Eclipse, Ellipse. I'm sorry, you guys, Ellipse. I've never had any issues with these. They catch the shavings as well. And it's just a cool sharpener to have. It's just cool. All right. And I also have, this is the worst sharpener I have, is the X-Acto. A lot of people like these, you know, automatic or electric sharpeners, but I don't like that I can't really control or see how much pencil is being eaten up. And typically it eats up a lot for me, and I just don't like these. So I'll keep this as a regular pencil sharpener for my drawing pencils and my graphites and stuff. All right. And last but not least, this is my second favorite out of all the sharpeners. Well, I'll say tie for first place. This is the Derwent Super Point sharpener. It's helical, so it has a crank. It has this the front of the sharpener you pull out like that, and you stick the pencil in, and it goes through here. It holds the pencil steady, and while it's holding it, you can, you know, it doesn't do that. It'll stay open. You just turn this. It's going to do that because I don't have a pencil in there, but you turn it, and I can tell you guys, I think I can turn this. I turn it like maybe 3 to 4 times, and the points come out so sharp. It's so pointy, and this has saved my Prismacolors time and time again. If I get a Prismacolor that's getting chewed up by these other sharpeners, I say, you know what, I'm tired of this. I'll get up, get my helical, put it in there, and it's resolved. And that's probably why I like this up in the top, like the top sharpener, one of the top sharpeners for me, is because of that. You can save a lot of money if you get one of these. I'm just saying. All right, next we're going to go into another tool I have, which is a pocket guide to mixing color. Okay, and this is just like a color wheel, but it's a pocket guide. So it goes into showing you the primary colors, secondary, intermediate, talks about tints, tones, and shades. So a tint, you add white. A tone, you add gray. A shade, you add black. Tells you, it kind of teaches you fast. Warm and cool colors, shows you warm colors, cool colors. And then color harmonies, complementary, triadic, and split complementary. These are colors that will look good together, you know, in a picture or coloring or painting. And then you have this wheel that kind of breaks it all down to show you what they're, you know, here's a complementary. So yellow, the complementary color to yellow would be this violet here. Complementary to this red would be green. So you're going to cross to find the complementary color. Okay. In the back, it has some areas where you can kind of mix your own colors. And then it has a grayscale. Shows you some grayscale and what the value should look like when you're doing grayscales. All right. And that is the pocket guide to mixing color. Easy to understand. Yes, it is. All right, next I'm going to go into my erasers. Before I go into the erasers, you have to have something to put your shavings in as far as your color pencils are concerned. Yeah, I'm too lazy sometimes to get up out of the bed where I'm coloring or on the couch to come to the trash can. So I got this little trash can, you guys. It has wheels on it. It is so cute. I was like, that is so cute. So I'll keep this next to me, and you can put a lot in here. It's like as big as a cup, like a drinking cup, maybe a 12-ounce cup. So yeah, I like that. And pink is my favorite color. So of course I had to get that. All right. And now the erasers. So my favorite eraser to use, of course, is the Derwent electric eraser. And I actually came to find out about this eraser in art class years before I started, a couple of years before I started coloring. So this is an electric eraser that, you just press this little, you press the button and it actually just spins and erases. So, and of course you got to have the extra eraser. So I have plenty of those because they do go fast if you have a lot to erase. So I have those. And then I also like to use this Pentel Tri Eraser. This also I used for school, but I've been using them for coloring books. And I like it because it's triangular. So you can, kind of get into small spaces with it. I like that it clicks. And so, you can always have a nice eraser handy. That's a nice one. That's my second favorite. And then I have standard erasers like an art eraser, a Derwent art eraser. I have the Factus Extra Soft. And I have this art stroke. It says the ultimate eraser for fine artists. And then I have, of course, the kneaded rubber eraser. And I have plenty of these already kneaded and shaped and everything. But I thought I'd show you guys a clean one. All right, so we have that. And then when you have to erase, sometimes you have to have an eraser shield. And an eraser shield basically, say for instance, let's see, let me get something here. Say for instance, I wanted to erase the word includes here, but I don't want it to erase anything else in the background. So then I take this and put it over the word includes, just like that. And then you take an eraser and you erase. And as long as you're on the shield in that section, you will not erase anything outside of that box. So these are really cool to have if you need to erase something in your coloring. This is another art tool I use in my drafting class. Came in so handy. So I didn't have to redraw a lot of floor plans and stuff. So eraser shields, good tool. All right. Next, I forgot to show you guys some medium that I like to use. These are called Glimmer Mist Tattered Angels. And I used this on a page. I like the effect that it gave. But one thing that I know I will have to do is use masking fluid. That's probably the best option. Or some type of tape to cover up the picture. And then spray. So that I can just get the background. But masking fluid's probably going to be the best option because you can get really, you know, you can get into the fine details if you use masking fluid to cover up what you don't want to be misted or colored. So I really enjoy using these. Okay. All right, the next item here that I have is going to be blending and glazing medium. Winsor Newton. Okay, blending mediums. Gamsol. So these are things that I like to use as well. My Gamsol I don't use that much because I like to try to blend with the colorless blenders as well as with white colored pencils. I bought this little tool here for the Gamsol. When I use it, I can pour it inside of this and put this in, twist it, open it, and you can use it more safely. You just pump it, and it gets the fluid here, and you just take your blending stump or whatever you're using and dab it in the little bowl, and then you close it when you're not using it. So I bought that tool for that. And then I also have a spritz bottle, and this works good for watercolors. If you're gonna like use watercolors or water soluble pastels, things like that, you can shave it on the paper and spritz and let it spread kind of like itself. There's a lot of things you can use a spritz bottle for. So that's another great tool to have. What I also use is clear gesso, and you can use this if you have a picture that's double-sided. You don't want to mess up the other picture on the back side. There's a way you can use clear gesso, let it dry, and then paint, and it will not bleed through to the other side as long as you've covered the whole page and let it dry completely. So that's for that purpose. I also use workable fixative, which is what you use once you've done using like a pastel. You don't want it to smear or rub off. You spray this on there, let it dry. And the way that it's workable is that you're able to then, after you've done your background, if you do your backgrounds first, you can then go and color over that, and it allows you to actually layer on top of it. So it's really, really cool. I like this stuff. All right, the next thing that I have are paper stumps. You can never have too many paper stumps. So I have paper stumps, paper stumps, paper stumps. And again, this is for workable, for the Gamsol and stuff like that. So basically what I've done is I've designated each one for a specific color so that the bleeding and stuff doesn't go through them. So you see here, I use this side for orange and this side for tans and browns. So I have the stumps, and then I also have a little file here that I use to sharpen these or get the old color off. So you just go like this and twist as you just twist as you go across the board, and you have a clean stump, pretty clean, okay? And you can use it over and over again. So I keep a little file with those. All right, next items that I use are going to be, of course, makeup wedges, the soft ones, Q-tips, and cotton balls. I always use these for my pastels. I'm also learning to use sponges to create texture. So I have some sponges that I use for textures for backgrounds. And these you can use with watercolors, inks, and acrylic paint. So I do have these sponges for textures, to create textures. And then I have not used these yet because I have not used my pan pastels yet. I've only tested them with just a finger, which is not good, but I have my soft art sponges. I have the hexagonal ones. And then I have the set here that has like the makeup brush and the wedges. So I have those. And then I also have stencils. I don't know if anybody uses stencils. I do. These are the cheap ones you can get from Walmart. Some of them I've used, some I haven't. And they come in different designs, as you can see. I haven't popped them all out, but there's different designs here. I mean, you can use these for backgrounds. There's a couple here that are for holes or dots, and then this cute little like stained glass kind of design, I want to say. You can use those for your backgrounds. And then I also have these here, which are plastic ones, and they're a lot larger. So you can get a set that has like these circles, stars. I've used this, hearts. I mean, there's all different ones. Brick, trees. And then I have a pack here full of a bunch more. Show you. Yeah, roses. Then we have these here. And I like them because if you're not really creative and you can't think of something to draw in your background, you just want something different, something simple, you can always grab a stencil and some paint and go with it. This is a tree and a swing, I think. Yeah. I don't really like that one. We got some animal print here. Splats, words, arrows, cats and birds. I mean, there's a lot. And I think I got these on Amazon. And you can see I've used this because it has paint on them. Yeah, so I use stencils as well. You can use those. A lot of people don't know that you can use all types of stuff in your, coloring books. And that's what makes it fun. You can just do whatever you want. I just love that. All right. And last but not least, I'm sorry. These are some stencils that I've made with the manila folders. So those are cloud stencils, and I make a lot. These are just some that I so happen to not throw away. So I use those as well. And then last but not least, guys, I also use reference books. So I'm going to pause for a moment and I will come back and show you the reference books I use. And I consider them tools because they help me determine they help me with learning how to do something, how to color something, the way something, I color should look. So just one moment, I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. So now we're going to get into art reference books that help me, okay? So we're going to start with the first one. I'm going to zoom in some because I'm going to open some just to show you a couple pages. So we have flowers in color pencil. And basically shows you step by step how to, go about coloring certain flowers. And some of these we will see in a lot of the coloring books. So I need some help with those sometimes, just to know how to use the pencil, using the pencil strokes and things like that. Like the infamous rose, you can see how they're using lines here for that. So that's the flowers in color pencil. Then I have landscapes in color pencil. And this is to help me with skies, you know, how things should really look when you're coloring with color pencil. Here it tells you step 1, step 2 here. Use cool gray 50% to begin drawing the creek. Well, that's drawing, but you know, as you get into the coloring of it, you can, you know, get some assistance with that. So just basically looking at these and seeing what steps they take to achieve the skies. So I really like that. I also have portraits, and this is watercolor, so this is also helpful for me for using watercolors in my books. So they kind of help you with learning, you know, how to do what's step 1, step 2, step 3, so that you can make it look realistic. So yeah, that one for watercolor. I also have a watercolor tips and tricks book by David Norman, and doing lavender fields. Look at that. Shows you exactly what to do. This is mainly for doing it on canvas or watercolor paper, but I mean, again, you can try to take some of these tips and use them in your coloring books. Look, here's one for diluting and blending colors. Just different things. I really like creating an atmosphere. So there are a lot of different tips and tricks in this book. I also do a little drawing, so I have drawing still lifes. It just gives you, you know, helpful tips in drawing still life. Then I have watercolor fairies and fantasy. So this helps you with learning how to paint fairies. Sorry. So what I like about this book is that this is an actual project. So you can actually take this picture, photocopy it, enlarge it, and then trace it or use carbon paper to trace it onto actual watercolor paper so that you can actually paint this and do this project. There are several projects in here. So look at this, you guys. I mean, this is beautiful. And so I'm going to, you know, like I said earlier, I'm going to be doing some watercoloring classes. And so these will be good projects for me to practice watercoloring fairies and fantasy because I like fairies. All right. Another watercolor book I have is Contemporary Watercolors. Yes, so this is the Colorist Special Effects. Okay. Next, I have Color Workshop, a step-by-step guide to creating artistic effects by Rachel Reinhardt. Her style is amazing too. Her coloring, I like that this book gives you some tips on like how to do water droplets, adding backgrounds, how to color using stippling. I mean, there's a lot of different things in here. Look, blending with petroleum jelly. You know, I've done some highlighting because I'm learning, teaching myself some things. Coloring hair and skin. I mean, you want to know how to do this. They're giving you step by step the way that they like to do it. So that's Color Workshop. Then I have Fragment's Complete Guide to Drawing from Life. And this is more like a human anatomy. So just different ways of drawing human anatomy, trying to get things in perspective, the way the body should look. And so, I mean, this is one of the my worst areas of drawing is human body. So I got this book to kind of help me learn drawing human body. Okay, so Complete Guide to Drawing from Life by George E. Bergman. Then I have this. Whoa, I love this book. It is the Colored Pencil Painting Bible by Aliana Nicholson. I am studying this book currently. So I have a lot of highlights in here, you guys. I'm learning some things. I am a color pencil fanatic. I love color pencils. I want to learn anything I can about them. Here you go, laying down a solid foundation. I mean, bad composition. I mean, this is amazing. So if you want to be like a color pencil artist where you're drawing and coloring your own art, this is a great book, you know, to get to learn just a lot of cool things, fusing colors, all kinds of stuff, guys. So this is a book I'm studying now, and it has some lessons in there as well. Okay, I also have Botanical Illustration course with Eden Project. It's a practical book of the year. I love this book. It's just pretty to look at. Setting up, how to set up your home studio. I mean, this is some really cool stuff. Pencil drawing. I mean, it's got a lot in here, guys. Forms in nature. Foreshortening, casting shadows. Then it takes you into mixing colors, the color wheel. It's very nice. Here are some great pictures here. The strawberry, how much detail. So it discusses a lot of information. And then again, you can try drawing and coloring or painting. So this book is just gorgeous to me, and just to learn how to do this stuff. Okay, so this is also watercoloring. Okay, next I have Drawing Masterclass Trees by Dennis John Naylor. And I like to draw trees. I've been drawing trees, not as good as this, but you know, just from my own imagination, what I would think a tree would look like. So I thought I'd grab a book that could teach me how to really draw them, and to be able to go out and sit in parks and try to draw what I see more realistically. So, Drawing Masterclass Trees. All right, then I have Pencil Drawing Project Book for Beginners. I got this for me and my son to sit and, you know, just try some of the lessons. We went through quite a few. We did not get to do flowers. I think we've only done the fruit, so not really quite a few. In the car, the dog, the bird. He lost interest. He didn't really like this. So I'll probably continue this on my own. Okay, then I have Drawing Flowers. Create beautiful artwork with the step-by-step guide by Jill Winch. And basically just showing you how to draw flowers. If you know how to draw them, then you can color and paint them, and you'll have something you've created in like a sketchbook or a watercolor book. So that's really my goal, is to kind of do my own stuff too. Right, almost done here. We have How to Paint Skies by Jeff Kersey. And this was, I grabbed this right away because you want to do your backgrounds in your coloring books, and it just shows you like how to do sunsets, painting them. I mean, just different techniques. You can also take the same technique and try to, you know, copy this with color pencils. So, I mean, you can take these technique books and either do exactly what they're doing, or you try to copy it with the medium that you have. So, all right, so that's How to Paint Skies. And then I have The Art of Color Pencil Drawing. Discover techniques for creating beautiful works of art in color pencil. Again, learning how to use color pencils. And how to color skies. Look at this nighttime city skyline. That's nice. So, I mean, it's just some cool stuff to learn. There's always something you can learn. All right, and last but not least, How to Draw and Paint Fairyland, a step-by-step guide to creating the world of fairies by Linda Ravenscroft. And I have several. I have 4 of her coloring books. And this is her book on how to. Light and shade. Like, look at the mushrooms. I mean, there's so much information in this book. It's like jam-packed full of stuff. I love this book. So if you like fairies and stuff like that, and you want to learn how to coloring berries and rose hips, cherries, blackberries, berry bunches, I mean, you can just get in here and learn. And that's what I like, to learn. All right. And that was the last book, you guys. So that completes my coloring supplies stash series. The next video that I will be doing will be the color tuber watching tag. I was tagged by the lovely Lavelia at Lavelia's Coloring, and she tagged me to do the questions and the answers to the color tuber watching tag. So that will be my next video, and I'm trying to determine whether or not I'm going to color a work in progress or start something new while I'm talking or answering these questions. We'll see. So stay tuned, guys. Until next time, take care.